Hello everyone, it's episode 5. We've got a guest on this week. It's Luke Rooker from the Andy's Man Club. We've just finished recording with him now, and it's a great episode.
It's such a good episode. He's such a nice bloke, and I think that people who listen to it will feel the same as what we feel right now, like inspired.
Yeah, like it's weird because we've been like speaking with Luke since episode 1 because he like followed us pretty much.
Yeah, he's one of the first people to actually reach out to us and just be like, this is pretty sick, boys. You should carry on doing it.
Yeah, like his messages loads. He always listens to our pods as soon as they come out, and he always messages after saying like, "Oh, great podcast. You've been really great to listen to," and he always says it's like really good what we're doing, and it takes balls and stuff like that. And we didn't obviously know much about Luke, did we? Whereas he obviously knew shitloads about us because he listens to our podcast. So I didn't know, and obviously it's our first guest too. So it was.
I know. Yeah, can you believe we workshopped this idea? What was it like? How long ago was it?
It was like July. Yeah, it was like 5 months ago.
And now we're 4 episodes in, 5 now.
Yeah.
And we've had an actual person actually want to be on our fucking pod. Like, it's fucking bananas,
what a good first guest he was too. Because going into it, you don't know what to expect, do you? Like,
no.
Obviously, I knew he had banter because he was like cracking bants about the fucking
noodles and
shit. You can just tell from his page anyway that he's a proper sound guy. But speaking to him then, like, it's so inspirational to listen to, like the journey he's been on. Just like the fucking quotes he was pulling out of his ass, like, do you know what I mean? About the shit at the end about the fucking. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to ruin it, but
true.
Proper wise guy, and just how he looks at life, so positive.
And above all, like he's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
I think he suits the message that we're trying to put out there as
100%,
well. You know what I mean?
100%. He could easily do what we're doing and better, to be honest, because he's fucking good at talking, as you'll fucking see.
Yeah, he is really good. He's really well.
Struggling to get our fucking words in, like, do you know what I mean? But that's the beauty of it. Like, honestly, so interesting, and I'd fucking advise anyone to listen to it.
Yeah,
like,
really so good episode on it, and it was such good to chat to him, and he said, "Well, fucking might end up going up to Glasgow and fucking link up with the boy."
I know, you said down to Glasgow like a fucking idiot.
Mate,
like...
Let the TBC members realise who the fuck said go down to Glasgow.
I've had warm beer, mate. I'm steaming. I'm flying. But anyway, that's the intro, and catch you on the flip side.
Yeah, hope you enjoy it, everyone.
Did we say peace?
Peace. Welcome back, mate. Episode 5.
Yeah,
we've got a guest on.
We do, yeah, mate. We've got a guest, like been following us since fucking day 1. To be fair,
proper friend of the show.
Yeah, mate. So it's Luke Rooker. We've mentioned him before in previous episodes, like when we give out his bank details.
That's true.
Just a little intro there about Luke from it's Andy's Man Club. Is it Doncaster that you're from, Luke? Andy's Man Club.
No. I'm just outside Glasgow, little town called Kirkintilloch is where I live.
Oh, so Glasgow, right? Fair enough. I'm getting mixed up with.
I think you're getting mixed up with Rob, yeah.
Yeah, because we just have Andy's Man Club people in our fucking DMs all the time. No, I want to joke.
Right, I can imagine. Hang on, let me pop my drink. Hang on.
There we go.
Is that a cork?
I know it was that a full bottle.
Yeah, my freshly poured H2O, yeah.
Oh, nice, mate, nice. Luke, just if you don't mind, if you could just give us a little bit of an intro, just about yourself and what you do for a living.
Yeah, so my name is Luke Rooker, as the boys have already mentioned. My main occupation is OnlyFans. And it's a good job I was joking, because if I wasn't being serious, I'd be quite offended.
That's true.
I thought it as a laugh, to be fair. I was like, yo, like, have we...
What if it's legit? Like, should I subscribe?
I want you to put my links on that out there and share my pictures. You know what I mean?
Is it feet or what is it?
Oh no, it's toys all the way.
Oh shit!
Massive dildos.
So I work for a large defence company, and I'm a principal engineer for them, based up here in the Glasgow area.
Oh, nice.
And that's all I'm saying on that.
Okay, fair enough. So it sounds like you're quite hands-on there, Luke. Like you could build like barbecues and shit.
Yeah, barbecues I'm alright with. IKEA flat pack furniture I'm not too bad with, but and anything more than sort of basic.
Yeah, you got to have a degree in patience on those IKEA flat pack things, aren't you?
Right. So no, it's I struggle. Anything more than that, the wife needs to get involved. So yeah.
Oh, nice.
But I can manage the basics.
That's good. So I suppose we wanted to ask how you got involved with the Andy's Man Club stuff. Like, has there been a sort of what's the journey that's led you into getting involved with that stuff?
To be honest, it was. I first came across Andy's Man Club. I'd seen it a few years ago advertised, and the club nearest to me was what seemed in my eyes a bit of a trek. The thought of going to a part of Glasgow that I didn't know, to something I didn't really, or wasn't totally sure what it was going to be, was a little bit daunting. So I kind of stepped away and didn't really act upon the instinct. And then in my last job, I had to have a medical as part of the role, and I walked into the office, or the health suite, or whatever you want to call it, and the therapist there just went, or doctor, whatever, just said, so what are you, ex-military or ex-police? And I was like, that's a bit sort of presumptuous, okay. So I said, ex-military, why? And he said, well, you can always tell by the way that you hold yourself. I was like, okay. So then he just handed me this card, and he said, it's Andy's Man Club, it's a men's sort of mental health talking charity. I was like, oh, great, cool, good job you haven't offended me twice in 30 seconds. So I just kind of put the card in my wallet and thought nothing of it. And then it was about a week or so later that I opened up my wallet on the off chance that the wife had left me some money in it, and there was this card, and I did the old Google or Facebook search, whatever it was, and turned out there was one opening that Monday about 5 minutes away from where I live. So I went along for the first time, and like everyone that goes to Andy's Man Club will tell you, the hardest part is walking through the door for the first time. And I was greeted with a couple of gentlemen outside who said their names, shook my hand, said, you go and get yourself a brew, go and get yourself a biscuit, and take a seat. And I did, never looked back. And we just had our first year anniversary at the club that I go to. And yeah, it's just been, it's now a staple part of my week. It's as much, a part of my week is a Friday afternoon finishing work. I look forward to it. I say I need it. I don't mean it as it's like a crutch or anything like that, but I need it in a sense of it helps set me up for the week. I can get those things off my chest that may be bugging me, or maybe you can help someone out, or you can listen to people, positives and negatives, and sometimes you can share your own experience, and it just sets it up, and it's helped shape definitely me into, I don't want to say the person I am today, that sounds cliche, that sounds a little bit too probably romantic, but definitely given me that scope of that outlook of how I look at things, and that confirmed and cemented that positive mental attitude that I try and keep, that glass half full mentality. And it's been a good year. I'm a facilitator for them as well. I facilitated for probably a good few months there. We've got a lot of facilitators now, so we sort of share the load, and we sort of take it in turns facilitating, and it's absolutely great. Good group of guys. We're not a huge club in a sense that we don't have some of the massive numbers that the southern clubs have, and even some of the the Glasgow ones. But we have a lot of regulars, inverted commas, that come, so you get to know people. People are friends, and you build relationships. And that's what for me. There's a social aspect to it as well. I'm not a big drinker. I don't go out on a sort of Friday evening down the pub pissing up watching the football or anything like that. So there's a social element to it as well. And it's been a game changer, inverted commas, for me.
That's really good. And do you think that when you instantly got welcomed with a handshake and I'm X person, I'm this person, nice to meet you and stuff, did that put you at ease straight away, thinking like this is the correct environment for me?
That's the hardest part, is like they say, is walking through the door for the first time. And there's that part of you that does just sort of go, oh, do you know what, am I ready for this? Can I do this? What if? You question a lot because you don't know what it's going to be. In my head, I had this kind of, the best way I can describe it in my head is if anyone's seen the music video to When I'm Gone by Eminem, when they're sort of, he started there at the very start of it, and like, thank you for sharing, has anyone got anyone else they want to say? Yeah. That was how I imagined it in my head. And I wouldn't say it's a miles away from that, but it's a lot, it's relaxed. It's, it's there to encourage you to talk. So having facilitators outside to stand there and greet you and, to take that initial weight, that initial ease off the shoulders of people, regulars. Obviously everyone at the time that I first went was new because it was a new club. But you'd feel it ease straight away. And once you've crossed that threshold, then that is it. I know it sounds cliche, but that is the hardest part because you're walking into that unknown. And now, like you say, being that person that's standing there and greeting people, new faces.
You're now that person now, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're now.
One of them,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're lucky. At times we've got more facilitators there of an evening than we do non-facilitators, and I think that's really good because AMC encourages the people that go to be facilitators to training free. They're not. There's never a charge for anything at AMC. That's one of the things that as a business plan, if you were to say and go to your bank and say, look, I've got this business model, let me run it by you. Right, what is it? Well, I want to set up this club that's completely free, charitable. I don't want any money from anyone. We're going to give them free tea and coffee and biscuits. They don't need to sign up. They don't need to register. We don't need to do any. They haven't even got to talk if they don't want to. And we don't ever want a penny from them. And by the way, if we do this training, we're going to give them a free hoodie, a free beanie, and a free t-shirt. How does that sound? Your bank manager would walk out on you.
Yeah.
But they make it work. They do. And Luke Ambler, who helped set it up with Andy's mum, has done an absolutely fantastic job. I dock my hat to them. It's what I think every man needs, regardless. You don't need a condition. You don't need to be psychotically, mentally ill. You don't need to have a drug addiction, an alcohol addiction. The one thing I always say to people when I post about it or talk to people about it is you need a set of balls, literally. That's what you need is to basically man up. That's not a sexist comment, is, you need to man up and go, because it doesn't matter who you are. As long as you're a man, there's something there for you. We've all got something we need to get off our chest, whether it's someone cut us up on the way to work to I'm feeling at rock bottom, I don't know what to do with myself. It's a good place to vent and talk and meet like-minded people. So I can't talk highly enough about AMC.
That's really good. You'd think people you walk past who could appear being the sanest people on the planet, they would still benefit from going to somewhere like that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I can't genuinely. I hear a lot. I do a lot of. Well, I say I do a lot. I do a lot of awareness sort of things for AMC in my area. I've done sort of events where you just sort of like wellness days or these sort of things where people that I know or know, my family up here know about AMC and say, look, would Luke come along and do this? And if I can facilitate that, I will. Nothing. There's nothing that I do for AMC that's paid work. I don't work for them. It's very much I do what I do because I care. The back of my car has their logo and their name across the back of it, and that was me doing that because of how much I believe in it, because I know it works. And if every guy I met that I've spoken to about AMC, if I had a pound for every guy that said they were going to turn up and didn't, I could retire by now.
Wow.
It really is. I don't know if it's for me. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, well, well, are you a man? Yeah. Well, box tick. There you go. That's all you need.
Yeah, that's the only criteria.
Yeah, but it's funny, Luke, because I said the same thing. Sorry, about going about Andy's Man Club, didn't I? Because me and you both go to like therapy.
Individual ones.
Yeah, we have like an individual like therapist that we both go to. And I said the same thing about Andy's Man Club because my brother goes to Andy's Man Club and he loves it. He says like it's amazing. But I just always had this like preconception in my head of like walking into a room. Do you know like you'd see on TV and like you sit in a hall and all in a circle and like you'd sit there and say, oh yeah, I'm like stressed about X, Y, and Z this week, and me being like quite a bit of an I don't know, I wouldn't say introvert, but just a bit more like quiet and stuff. I'd always feel like I'd struggle to walk in a room and like vent, because like the shit I'd vent about it might just be like small stuff, and I'd almost feel a bit guilty, like that there'd be people there that have actual shit, on the plate to talk about.
That is the point, though. That is the whole point of there's no. You need to be over 18 and a man. And that, and the reason I'll get the over 18 bit out of the way really is because we don't have any sign up, because we don't have any, registration or name taking or note taking or anything like that. So because we don't have that, we can't have under 18s, because then you've got disclosures and child protection laws and all these sort of things come into it. So it takes away a lot of that confidentiality, non-sign up side of it. If you've got a child there, then it changes everything. So that's why it's over 18. But when you're sat there, some weeks, I'm not gonna say the guy's name purely for his own, I say protection, but from the confidentiality side of it.
Yeah.
But he comes out with some of the things, like he's come out with, something to get off your chest. And he's like, grabber machines. And we all start laughing, going, what's that? Those grabber machines that you put a quid into?
Yeah, grabber machines.
Yeah, they're fucking well irritating.
It would have been cheaper to go and buy the teddy. Do you know what I mean? So you don't have to have the world's greatest problems to get off your chest. It can just be, and this is what I always say as well, those small problems we have, and I've been guilty of it throughout my life for many a year. You let those small problems build up, and we put all of our problems into one box instead of categorizing it.
Yeah.
And then that one small problem is, the wife entered the dishwasher, or I've got mud on the carpet, or that guy cut me up from work, or I can't believe that meal cost this much, or all of these sort of things, all build up, and before you know it, bang, you explode, and you can't really pinpoint what caused that whole thing to start with. And this is where AMC is great. You can get those things off, and you're like, do you know what, I need to get off my chest. And sometimes it is big rants. Sometimes it is, we do hear very deep, sad stories, and but it doesn't matter then if a person before you's come out with some huge, deep, just sad, destroying story, and you think, actually, all I was going to say was, I got a nail in my tyre, and that's really pissed me off. That's what's relevant to you. That's the whole point of it.
It's not a competition.
If that story that someone said to you, it's gone, actually, do you know what? My thing is really insignificant and in the grand scheme of things. But if it's annoying, you get it off your chest, because that's is your chest. It's not, oh no, I don't want to say anything now because mine's not as bad as his. Do you know what I mean? So it's all you. It's about you.
That's so true. It's such a good message to put out there. Like, it is
No,
you.
it is.
Like, be selfish when it comes to stuff that you feel like you need to vent.
It is. It's really good, and it's possibly. I've actually been thinking myself about possibly going every now and then, and maybe like fucking off therapy, because it's just you're surrounded by, like you said, like-minded people that are all going through similar shit, and it's just like you said, it's nice to also hear what other people have to say, and possibly not help, but just might help you realise sometimes that your problems aren't actually that deep, because other people are going through fucking worse shit. I don't know, but it's.
That's the magic of it, It is. Even if it doesn't matter what you're there as, if you are a doctor by profession, if you're a therapist by profession, if you're a painter and decorator, a millionaire footballer, whatever, all that goes out the door when you walk in. You're there as a man. You're there as, Luke, Ryan, Jay, whoever. That's who you're there as. You're not there as Luke, the principal engineer, and whatever. You're there as a man. Your job's irrelevant. Maybe if something you do could help someone. If say for instance you're a handyman, and someone there's like, the thing that I've just been annoying me this week is I've been trying to build this flat pack furniture and I can't get my head around it, and that person goes, well, tell you what, I could probably give you a hand with that, that's what I do for a living. Great, but you're not there to give advice either. It's there for your own problems. And during the break, we have a break, there's sort of 5 questions. The first 3 are always the same. Question 4 and 5 are the ones that change every week. So the format's the same, and every AMC you go to, Monday nights at 7 till 9 o'clock, each one is asking the same question, and it's the same format. So it shouldn't really matter which club you go to. So for argument's sake, next week I'm away, I'm down in Bristol, and there's 2 AMCs around where I'm going to be. So if I go to one down there, the format will be the same as what I go to up here. Obviously the people asking the questions and the way they do it might be slightly different, but the format is still the same. There shouldn't come as, there should be no surprises in that sense. Do you know what I mean? And that's why it's done at the same time, 7 till 9 every Monday night. So every AMC is, on at the same time. So you can't sort of go, I'll go to this one tonight, that one tomorrow, this one there. They're all on at the same time. And the story as to why AMC exists, which is a sad story in itself, and why it's Mondays is, I encourage anybody, male, female, boys, girls, women, men, gender neutral, whoever, to go on the Facebook site and go on the website and read the story and see why it exists, because it's great that it does exist, but it's sad that it exists as well. So yeah, it's a great thing, and it's a game changer for me and many other guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, we're I suppose they've essentially give us like the kick up the arse to go and do this stuff. You know what I mean? Like they've been the gateway, haven't they? But
but one thing actually, what I will say, I didn't finish yourself, Ryan or Jay said it a minute ago. Now was about giving up the therapy and doing it. Again, this is not medical advice, and don't take it as that. But one thing that I do hear quite a lot is there is quite a lot of guys that go to therapy in some form or another, counselling, whatever it may be, and they give you quite often, I don't think it's working, I'm not getting anything from it. And AMC isn't there as therapy. I'm doing that inverted brackets therapy, but it is in a way. But also that may help you with your therapy, being able to actually open up and divulge what it is that you need to speak about, because the hardest, take it from a man who's, I've been through hell, I'm not just saying that for effect, I've been to the depths and back, is the hardest part is being honest with yourself. And I say this all the time, if you can't be honest with yourself, how are you going to be honest with anybody else? If you can't look in the mirror and be honest with yourself, there's no way that you can, if you've been around helping someone else and being there for them and taking the support and the load, it's all a little bit fake. So if you can't be honest with yourself about what it is that you're going to therapy for, or who you are, or what you're doing for, you're living a lie. True. As far as I'm concerned.
You can bullshit anyone, but you can't bullshit yourself. And you can bullshit your therapist, your mates, your co-workers, all that, but you can't bullshit your own head, can you?
You're essentially just wasting your own time, aren't you, if you're not being fucking genuine?
Yeah, you're wasting everybody's time.
But anyway, I think you have some kind of like quick-fire questions, don't you? That you want to
quick-fire questions. Try and get to know you a bit, Luke, if that's all right with you.
Roger, my God.
So, can you tell us you're either current or childhood hero?
I suppose
get the boy thinking. That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted.
Can hear the cogs spinning.
My childhood hero.
Or it could be current, like
current, like a footballer, boxer, or just someone who you looked up to, like in your life.
And you can't say anger.
I think to be honest with you, in my late, that's right. In my teens, sort of, the sort of from about 1999. I was hooked on Eminem. I'm still a huge fan now, and
nice.
His music really did inspire me. I felt like I heard my story through him, and in his words and his songs. So I would probably say the person that throughout my life that's not been a family member is probably good old Marshall Mathers.
You're not Stan, are you?
And that, well, I suddenly feel older. I noticed that he just turned 51, and I'm like, wow, I'm getting old. When I see pictures of his daughter, and I'm like, oh God, I'm getting old. When I first heard his songs, and she was a baby.
It is mad. Yeah. Like you said though, mate, he is unreal. Like, I know both of us both.
There's so much emotion and anger in his songs and stuff like that. And like, I don't know about you, but if you like find yourself singing along to it, like it's like quite therapeutic, isn't it?
Yeah, and a man.
What?
Just want to check that.
Yeah, throw that out there. Why don't you?
Where did you meet him?
It is the loosest possible sense of the word. Meet someone is. I was at a concert of his in 2003 at Milton Keynes, and by pure accident, me and the guy that I'd gone with, we'd gone to queue up to get in, and it was in the Milton Keynes Bowl, and it's a huge place. I thought, why is no one queuing in that stall to get in? Why is there a massive queue here and no one queuing there? So we went and stood in this other queue, and turned out this was the VIP area in front of the stage queue. And then when we were walking through, the guy hadn't actually checked our tickets, so we just chucked them in our socks and sort of just went in. And then, so you can imagine, everyone's crammed in the bowl behind, and we had our own, I say private toilets, it was Portaloo cabins, but they were just for that area. And as I was walking around to the toilet, with the trailer entrance part to the side, I saw them, it's time, actually D12, and I think it was Exhibit as well. I think was playing basketball, and the ball kind of rolled across, and I was like, so I went to sort of pick it back, and then it was Eminem that collected the ball off me.
Wow.
And and he was, I just went, oh, there you go, and he was like, cheers, thanks, and then I was like, what do I say? And I was like, so I literally went, how are you? And expecting him to go, yeah, I'm good, Luke. How are you? Family all right? Dad keeping okay? Yeah, I
Still going on his man club.
It was like what felt like an eternity, but we shook hands, and I strolled on back like, you never guess who I've just met. And then I was telling my mates I've met him like if we were going out for a drink. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he asked me what I was doing after the gig and to come chill with him.
Yeah, so took my number. We became Facebook friends. But yeah, so that was I don't think I'll wash that hand until now, to be honest. I'm probably should go and see a doctor because it's going green, but no one.
Must be why his palms are so sweaty.
Yeah, my knees are weak.
No, that's mad though. That's. I think the most famous person we've ever met is like fucking Joe Hart.
yeah, Maker Richards. Yeah,
so that's mega, mate. Unreal. Meeting Eminem. I've fucking always loved Eminem. I seen him. He was at the boxing the other day.
In Saudi.
In Saudi, yeah. But yeah, you got another question then?
Another question for you, Luke. Get your cogs turning. Have you got like a quote or a mantra that you try and live your life by?
I do believe in the glass half full.
So you're an optimist by like trait. Has that been something that you've had to learn to become an optimist, or you always been?
100%, yeah. Definitely. I used to be the world's probably most pessimistic person, and anyone who knows me listening to this, when I say glass half full, is like bollocks. I try and see the positive now in everything. It's how I, and it's not always easy. I believe that positive mindset and glass half full. Try and see the silver linings in everything. It's not the things you do that you regret; it's the things you didn't do.
Yeah,
and
100%.
That's another one. There's no point. If you've done it, it's that whole thing of don't let the struggles of your past and the worries of tomorrow hamper your memories of today. And so those are kind of a couple of things that I try and adopt to my everyday living. My wife would probably tell you different, but yeah. For the sake of me sounding good, I'm going to say that.
Everyone's wife would tell you different.
Yeah. But no, that's probably mine.
Nice. No, that's a good one. Just jumping in, I do have a question as well, Luke. So, is there a particular life moment that you could say has impacted you, and how you've turned it into motivation for growth and success?
I think it's really since sort of there's been many kind of moments over my life where things have happened where I've had to kind of go, what do we do with this? How do I deal with this? From things in my childhood to the things I went through, to all the way up to really dealing with my demons when I'm not that long ago really, but I suppose the big turnaround, the thing that I suppose that got me the most that I didn't realise I was holding on to was the frustration and the hate and the emotions and that I still had for basically my biological mother. I held on to a lot for a lot of years. It was letting that go, and once I could actually forgive, and that by forgiving, it wasn't me admitting that what you did was fair. It was just saying, well, I forgive you for that. If I don't forgive you, I am never going to let this go. For me, like if you hate somebody, if you hate someone, that's an emotion. That's an emotion you have to feed. That's something you have to put time, thought, energy into feeding constantly. So if you can let that go to the point where you go, look, I don't care. And by doing that that was like almost, I felt like that weight shift off my shoulders.
Yeah, you dropped the anchor and sort of didn't pick it back up.
Yeah, and I suppose then that really kind of gave me that scope that I needed to start to live that process of where I'm living now. And I've had, you know, many people along the way that have been great supports and guidance to me through medical, through family, through friends, and yeah. But that was probably that moment, and I can remember it as clear as day. I was actually I was listening to Spotify at the time, and I was doing some prep work for the job I was in at the time, and I think Lewis Capaldi, Someone You Love, came on my phone, and then this Word document that I was writing, next thing I knew I was writing this letter. And I mean, it was filled with emotion, there was tears, there was all this stuff, and it was in that moment that I had to get it all out.
Are you writing this letter to yourself in that respect there, Luke? Are you writing that to your mum?
Yeah, I was writing it to her, you know, and it was, you know, I remember writing it and finishing it and looking, saying, right, you know, what do I do with this? Is this something I keep and burn, or do I keep it? Do I show my wife? Do I not? Or do I just hit the, excuse my French, hit the fuck it button and send it? And that's basically what I did. Is I thought, right, I'm not seeking permission, I'm not seeking approval, I'm not going to run this by my wife because I don't want to edit it. This is my true emotions in this.
That's so good.
Was it just proper raw? Like you couldn't stop, you didn't even think about what you were typing, it was just all spurring out of you?
Yeah. To her, then one to my sister, and that was it. Send it to the last known address that I knew. But what that also did, I can remember, is I was there. You know yourself when you have that emotion when it comes up. There's so many other things that you think, oh, I wish I told this person this, or I wish I told this person this. So I went on this like weird small tangent of writing the people that were most important to me in my life a letter. You know, my dad, my auntie who studied no longer with us, my wife. You know, just these things that maybe I wasn't able to say in person or had said, and just wanted to sort of reinstate that. And you know, I sent these letters, and it was I don't want to say it was a moment of change, but being able to, especially the one to my sister and my mum, to let everything go, and literally the bottom line saying, you know, I forgive you, was this is now a you problem. It's not a me problem anymore. This is a you problem.
Is that you saying that they've no longer got that power over you? You're no longer going to use negative energy on yourself. You're just going to sort of wipe the slate clean, so to speak.
Yeah, because you know there had been, you know, a lot of things that happened in my childhood. You know, I use the word. I didn't like to use the word before, but abuse, mostly mental abuse, a little bit. I was going to say physical in the sense of not that she was overly violent, but you know, raising a hand to me wouldn't have been an issue. And at the time, my eldest was young, and he'd spent, you know, when he was born, he did not work. He spent 9 weeks in intensive care, which was you know the start of my breakdown. And that just made me realise a lot. But seeing your child in this hospital incubator who was in a medically induced coma, wasn't breathing for himself, had, you know, more machines keeping him alive, and I think sent the Saturn rocket to the moon. And you just thinking how I could not imagine of someone doing that to them what had happened to me. And yeah, it just sort of it kind of all boiled up. So as he started getting older, and you know, we're probably talking. When was that? So a couple of years later, he would have probably been like two at the time that I wrote the letters. But it was just, there was so much that had happened by that point. You know, I'd lost my military career, I was medically discharged because of my mental health. You know, I had a breakdown. I didn't adapt well to sit the street. I struggled in so many avenues, and there was still this thing hanging over me that I thought I have control of letting this go. This is a me thing. Let's not make it a me thing. Yeah. And that's what it was about.
Sorry, Luke, do you speak to your mum now then, or?
The last time I spoke to her would have been just the start of 2015 when my boy was in hospital, and the conversation went along the lines of basically it was really bad weather. It was, you know, the sort of start of January. He's born on the 30th of December, so it was like, you know, January, February time. Yeah. And the weather was really bad, and we'd just been told basically that due to Taylor's condition that we basically had 5 days before they'd be turning off life support. So And
No.
But yeah, my aunt, who's sadly no longer with us, she was up here and she'd kind of taken control of the PR aspect, if you like, that was sort of telling the family members X, Y, and Z. And I'd let her know and say, my mum know and say, look, this is the situation. You know, we weren't really talking then anyway. We weren't talking, but out of respect to her in some weird way, to the annoyance of my wife, I'd been letting her know what had been happening. That he's been born, and this has happened, and this has happened, and this is where we're at. I said, look, if you want to see him, you need to see him now. And she was like, the weather and that. I mean, would you drive from Somerset to Scotland in this weather? I said, would I drive from Somerset to Scotland in the ice and the rain and the snow? And I was like, no, I wouldn't. I said, but would I drive from Somerset to Scotland to see my grandson, who's basically on his deathbed that I never made?
Drive to bloody Australia from Somerset?
I said, I think my parting words were, I'd walk on my hands and fucking knees.
Yeah.
And I think the phone went down. And that was the last contact we had.
So she's made her bed and she has to now sleep in it, unfortunately, which is
yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and bad mouth her.
Of course, yeah.
What's done is done. It's in the past. I know what I've dealt with it, and if she's come to terms with everything, then that's up to her and my sister. I've got no grievances there, but that was the last communication we had. As far as my boys know, and as far as my boys are concerned, my dad's wife, my stepmom, is their gran. I see her as their gran. She is their gran. There is no difference. She's a mother figure in my life, and as far as my boys are concerned, up until the point if they ever ask a question, I'll be honest, but they're 8 and 3. They don't need to know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is as far as if I say my mum and my dad, that's who I refer to. And if she ever hears this, then I hope she knows that.
That's so nice that from like a sort of like stepmom perspective that you have that ability to refer to her as that's my mum, that's your kid's grandma and stuff like that. That is so good.
She's an absolute gem, and she's actually probably brought out the best in my dad as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've seen a different side to my dad because of her, and all the better for it. And yeah, they're both amazing people. I love my dad to bits. I speak to him on a regular basis. We have a really good relationship. I'll say now, not that we ever had a bad one, but it was difficult at times. But now, I speak to him usually once a week at the very minimum. Sometimes it's more than that, But no, he's one of the most, I was going to say one of the most important people in my life. I don't mean that like he wouldn't be, but he's my go-to, turn-to person. If I got a problem, I ring him. If I got something I want to run by him, I'll ring him. And I respect him. And I respect him as a person. I respect him as a human being, and I respect him as a father. And I look for his advice as well. Whether it's learning from what he didn't do or did do. But yeah, he's a very important person. So like all my family are. Yeah. But I'm lucky to say that I have that relationship with my dad and my stepmom.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like, honestly, mate, that brought a lot of goosebumps up when you were telling me that story.
I know.
It's mad, but it like you said, it's lovely that you do have that relationship with obviously your dad and then your stepmom too. It's really, really, really nice.
Yeah, that's what you want. When people do come into your life as sort of like a late addition, so to speak, you want them to bring out the best in sort of everyone around them, if you know what I mean. To be an addition rather than I don't know what the word is, like what's the opposite
like
to
an
addition?
Inconvenience.
And yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, she is. She's an absolute gem. I'm really blessed in the fact that, like, for years, I had two families. If you like, I always have to say I have my mum's side, I have my dad's side, and my mum's side literally consisted of my siblings, and my mum, and so I've always had a really close relationship. I say my dad's side of the family in relation to this story, but it was always difficult because my mum had no regard for my dad at all. Things that happened over the years. We can get into that. It doesn't bother me either way. But so now, I have my family now, and unfortunately, I lost but she was very much a mother figure in my life. And she's just, in the words described by her husband, were selfless and pure, and she really was. And it's she unfortunately she had cancer. She beat the shit out of cancer. She really did. She had it for a long time. But yeah, she passed away recently. But yeah, going back to that glass half full thing, the silver lining of that is she's no longer in pain. She's no longer suffering.
Yeah.
She has two amazing kids and a grandchild. My cousins are absolutely amazing people. Her husband, my uncle, is a person that I look at him in for leadership, for guidance. I look at him in that sense. He's a very, very switched on, clever person in a very high profile role for what he does. And any sort of, from a work aspect, any sort of like leadership, motivational kind of things, he's always been that person I go to, and I respect him immensely. So with my auntie gone, for me personally, this is just the me side of it, the selfish side of it, if you like. There was this huge void. But yeah, I've got to take the lessons and the teachings that she's given me over those years and say, right, okay, let's put this into practice now.
Definitely.
And I was fortunate enough, just before she passed, to have a really lovely, honest, in-depth conversation with her. And I'm proud and privileged that we had that, and I was able to share exactly how I felt, and where the key role that she played in my life. So I'm glad that I got to have that.
I bet she was buzzing at that conversation just as much as you were.
Yeah, it was. It was highly emotional. We were both crying. It was lovely, but I'm glad that I got to have that. And yeah, obviously, she leaves behind a legacy, and I see that legacy in her kids. I say her kids. I mean, my cousins are late 20s, early 30s. But they're both amazing people and both married to amazing partners, and one of them has got a beautiful daughter. So yeah, it's she's remembered and honoured in them.
That's awesome. And having like a good, like sort of like tight knit family where everyone wants to leave their mark of being, how to be a good person, how to respect your fellow family members and stuff like that. Like, it's so important to have that tight knit.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree with you, and I'm still really fortunate and privileged that I've still got both my grandparents. They've just celebrated their 68th wedding anniversary.
68?
And I think that's mental.
Wow.
Absolutely mental.
I mean, are they happy just sitting in separate rooms now and just like shouting to each other, brew or digestive, or like are they just comfortable in their own skin, having separate lives almost?
Yeah, well, my grandma doesn't keep too well, and they're independent. They have no help. They do everything themselves. My granddad still drives.
Wow.
He's 90 odd, so he does a lot of running around for them, and we all say, if you need a hand, no, I'm fine. Don't really worry.
Too much pride in that generation, isn't there? I don't want to be a bother.
Generation. Yeah, but again, my grandparents are a huge part of my life as well. I think because of everything I went through as a child, with my mum, I spent a lot of time with my aunt and a lot of time with my grandparents. So I've had that love and comfort there. I've had lessons and teachings, and I've been brought up on respect and manners, and that's those things that you pass down to my kids. They know to be polite, and you say please, you say thank you, and yeah, I'm fortunate enough to still have. I've got a large family in that sense. I've got aunties, uncles, and yeah, I feel very proud and blessed to have that, and the extended side through my wife. Her parents just live around the corner from us, and I have a really good relationship with them. Her mum can get on my nerves at times, but I love her to bits. They're both good people. The chance of her hearing is slim to none, but my wife.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. But no, it is. They're great people. My father-in-law is, he's a really, really practical guy as well. Knows a lot, and I've learned a lot from him over the years. And I do what I can to help them. And same with my mother-in-law, and they help us out. They look after the kids and And, as much as I may moan and complain, and they may moan and complain, they're really good people. And we're all one family, and I feel very blessed and proud to have that. I know my wife does.
That's so nice. It's such a nice sort of thing to be able to share, and you can hear the sort of almost passion in your voice about it, that you're dead happy that you've got a good family around you. So it's proper nice to hear.
No, it is, and you can tell from the way you're speaking about it that's clearly been passed on to you, and I'm struggling to put it into words, but you can get the passion from you, and it does seem like you do have that really close connection, like you said, with a lot of your family members, which is really, really nice.
And then that'll be instilled into your own children as well, which I bet is high on your list to pass down to them, about the whole value side of things, your manners, you respect people, and be a good person.
Yeah,
and then
definitely the values. Those things. And I think as well is I'm really lucky, and as much as I do not like to blow and smoke up my wife's ass, because she doesn't need any more excuses, but she's been a huge part of, or she is, she's a huge part of my life. And what people go, what's your wife? She's bound to be, but she's witnessed firsthand, my breakdown, my demise, the worst part of my life, so to speak, and she's had to witness that from the other side of the fence. And many people, and I would beg many people that have had to go through what we've gone through and see what she's seen, witnessed it, and to still be here, to still be supportive. But I'm very fortunate that my wife and myself have a really not open relationship. No, I don't mean that. Open and honest relationship. I was going to say.
Where'd you live again?
We talk about everything. We're very honest in that sense. And I think it's a fundamental part of I think a marriage is and people go, of course, it's honesty, but how honest you are. We will talk to each other about anything.
Definitely.
So overall, it's a complete package. I feel very lucky, and sometimes I have to sort of stop and look from the outside in and go, hang on a minute, this is what I've got, and I feel very privileged and proud to have that. And I've got two wonderful, amazing boys. They don't seem wonderful and amazing all the time when they're shouting at each other.
Yeah, but nothing can be amazing and wonderful all the bloody time, can it? But when you take a step back and just have that sort of outside looking in perspective, you actually are quite thankful about what you do have. And like you said before, you've been through the fucking ringer. So when you do take a step back and look, you're like, I fucking deserve this because I've been through the absolute fucking worst. I deserve to have two happy lads, a happy wife by my side, type thing. That big puff out chest.
I think you're right, mate. You hit the nail on the head there. Is I deserve this, because we all as people, especially men, not even no, I don't know, not as men, as people think, should I be? Have I got too much, or should I be allowed to feel this happy or this good, or do I deserve this? When ultimately, if you can, and this comes back to that thing we said earlier on, if you can be open and honest with yourself and say, do you know what? Yeah, I do. I work hard. I've instilled these things. I've gone through this. I've gone through that. And it's not a woe is me. It's not. I feel I should. It's not like going, no, I deserve those new trainers because I've done this week, or I earn this much, or I've got that. It's not that. It's looking and going, do you know what? Yeah, I've got all this, but I deserve it. I deserve, and it's not the material things. It really isn't. It's a thing that money can't buy. And I know that sounds cliche. I know it sounds bollocks. I know it sounds soppy, but I think, I'm a firm believer in that, because me personally, I think we live in this world now of, that Instagram lifestyle, as I like to call it, where it's all about looking good for a filtered photo, and it's all false, it's all bollocks. The BMW on the drive, the newly built house with the perfect lawn and the fancy Swiss watch on the wrist and all this. It's just it's bollocks.
But that goes back to the happiest couples that you see don't post a thing on social media. The unhappiest couples, you can see their lives documented from 9 to fucking 5.
Yeah, do you know what, mate? I'd agree with that. And like you say, but it's that betraying. And the problem is, there's so many people look at that and go, oh, I want that, or I want that. And I'm not, I'm when the whole social thing first come out, and you start seeing other people, you think, hang on a minute, how is that person? I want that, and I want this, and then you have to go, hang on a minute, whoa. Do I? You know, do I want all that? What are you not seeing behind the lens? You know, the 27 attempts at taking that pretend photo that was caught off guard and all that bollocks. And I'm just like, nah. Do you know what is? Yeah, you know, I know what I've got. I appreciate what I've got, and you know, yeah, I suppose yes, I'm in a fortunate position. I've got a good job. I work hard, and especially in the current crisis we live in, I know a lot of people. Yeah, there's no secret the cost of living crisis, and people can't afford maybe the things they would like. And on the opposite end of it, you know, you've got families that can't afford to put food on the table. So, you know, where we can, we'll give what we can, because we believe in that too. You know, if we can give a little, then we give a little. And it's not to be, oh, look what we give, you know, and if we can, we will, you know, and whether it's donations, whether it's charity, you know, it's if it's things we care about and we can help out, then we will. We don't look for praise, we don't look for anything like that. We do it because we care, you know, where it may be, you know, it's, you know, and I also appreciate that not everybody is maybe fortunate enough to be in that position, so why not? Because maybe one day I won't be, and I'd like to think there's people out there that would do the same for me.
Yeah, it's about the sort of like, and I'm not sure if you're a big believer in like karma and stuff like that, or what goes around comes around, but if you're out there doing, you know, good deed a day sort of thing, then you hopefully that's going to sort of be returned to you when you're in that time of need, isn't it? I mean, you can absolutely guarantee that it won't happen by not doing nice things for people. But if you want to sort of, you know, hope that it might happen to you, is you start doing the little things with people. I don't know, like helping like an old woman cross a street or something like that. Something as tiny as that.
That was almost going to be a segment on our podcast, wasn't it? When we was going to do,
what's your good deed for this week?
What non-cunty thing did you do?
Yeah, what non-cunty thing have you done today? Yeah.
No, but
you know, that's what I always say is, yeah, well, and there's a lot of things I always say, but one of the things I always say is, you know, I'm a firm believer in we can't, this slightly going off topic, but we'll come back to that, is I don't believe we can change who we are. Now this may cause a bit of controversy and people go, oh, but I don't believe we can change who we are. And the reason being is we are who we are, our personalities are the way we are, you know, and this is our makeup. And it doesn't matter if on the outside what we do, on the inside we're still us, but if we can if we can make our lives 1% better each day, if we can do something that makes us 1% better each day as a person, those small things will lead up to a big change overall in our lives. Whether, like you say, whether it's, you know, you say hi to 5 people when you're in work that you wouldn't usually speak to, whether you let that driver who's clearly going to cut you up, flash him and let him in, you know, make it his problem. You know,
yeah, or make everyone's life a bit easier. Like, yeah, just go in front of me, I'm in no rush, it's all good.
You know, those little things that you can do to better yourself will lead up to a big change. And like I say, if you don't ever try, you're never going to succeed.
Yeah, you're just going to
drive
hungry, aren't you?
Yeah, and if you fail, you fail. You know, first attempt is learning. We all fail. Failure isn't a bad thing. It's what you learn from failure.
Well, you can't learn anything if you don't fail. Can't learn a thing.
And if you don't, and people say, well, if I don't try, I'm never going to fail. Well, that's true, but you're never going to move forward either. You're going to get stuck where you are. So
I think there was something on the Last Dance about that, about like Michael Jordan, about making, you know, like the sort of like last buzzer points, and he's like, yeah, well, I missed 10 times more than I fucking got, but I missed 100% of the ones that I didn't take.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. And it's up to us as who we are. You know, like I say, we can live our lives how we choose. And if you want to sit there and feel sorry for yourself and say,
your prerogative, isn't it?
Yeah, I've gone through this and I've gone through this and the world owes me a favour, then you know, the reality check is you're going to be waiting a long time. But if you get off your ass and do something about it and take charge of you and say, right, cool, what can I do? You know, it's not that then suddenly the world, you know, it aligns and all these sort of things. Is you surround yourself by what you portray. So if you start actively being positive and actively helping and do these things, this is what you find yourself being surrounded by. And it's because people then attract to that, and then they, your life will, your world will naturally get better, even if it's the same as reciprocated. You as a person will feel better.
Yeah, it's almost like tailoring onto that law of attraction type thing. Like if you're putting out good energy to people out there, stuff, you might get, I don't know, some good fortune come your way or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And whereas it works the opposite way as well. If you're doom and gloom about your day, you're going to just see negative, look for negative, and be ultimately negative.
Yeah.
And that's it with negativity, is it's so easy to be negative. And it's like you're saying, if you're negative all the time and then go, nothing good ever happens to me. I'll give you an example, right? In a kind of a roundabout way, is my wife always says to me, I don't know why we play the lottery, we never win. I'm like, that's why it's called a lottery. It's not a guarantee. If you're not in it...
That's proper mansplaining, that, Luke.
Yeah, but that's what I say to her. I go, but that one time that you do win it, and let's say, for instance, we suddenly won 10 million, all those other times that we've played it and not won are completely insignificant. But if we never play it, then we're never going to win. And it's the same sort of thing with negativity. If you're negative and this and that, they're not, well, this is what you portray. If you're always glass half empty, but to be negative is easy. We can be negative about anything, whether it's we think we should earn more money, or the weather's shit outside, or how come that person's got a nicer car, or why is Netflix shit at the moment in my favourite.
Yeah, examples come to you in spades, don't they, about how you can moan. You can moan about what pair of socks you've decided to put on that morning, can't you?
Yeah. You can, and all you can actually, do you know what? Right, do you know what? Okay, maybe Netflix is shit at the moment, but what? Oh, actually, do you know what? That doesn't look too bad. I'll watch that. I can sit here and watch nothing and just stare at walls, or I'll put something on and maybe I might enjoy it. And it's the same when we talk about people. How many times do you talk about someone and before you know it, you think, hang on a minute, we're slagging this person off there. When was the last time you sat down and said, do you know what, Mr. Smith, do you know what, I hope he's keeping away. He's a really good guy, he is. Or, he's always friendly, he's always this. Or I hope, do you know what, I might go and check on him, I might go and say hello. We don't. We go, did you see blah, blah, blah? I can't believe she's doing this, or they're doing that, or he's doing this. It's because it's easy. But being positive takes effort, it takes work. Being negative comes almost naturally, and it's easy to beat that.
It is.
It's like, it's the same way you eat. You can go to the supermarket and quite easily just buy a trolley full of shite, and it's still food. You're still going to eat it, but then you can't then complain and go, I don't understand why I've got to sit down to piss all of a sudden. I'm still, well, what are you eating? McDonald's every day. Well, that's probably why. Yeah, but it's got gherkins in it. Yeah,
it's got gherkins in one of your 5 a day.
But if we change those little things, those little changes we can make in our everyday, where, do you know what? Okay, I'm going to have vegetables once a week, or I'm going to have fruit once a day, or whatever. Yeah. Those small changes will then soon add up to an overall big change.
It's so true. So true, mate. Obviously, just on the back of that, I was going to ask you, what are your long-term goals, and what mark would you like to leave on this planet?
My long-term goals are...
Heavy
That's
question.
Get the wife to actually play the lottery so we can win it. But my long-term goals really is, I think, it's going to sound cliche as such, but, is to be the best version of me that I can be.
It sounds like you do that as well, mate. It really does, honestly.
It takes a lot of effort, but it sounds like you are ultimately trying to do that day by day.
The standards that I live by is be the best version, be the best me I can be, which means I can be the best father I can be, the best husband I can be, the best son I can be, the best friend I can be. It's the best me I can be.
Yeah.
Control Alt Delete, start again. And, and that comes back to that sticking and being honest with yourself. And it's not always easy. It's not the easiest thing to do to be positive. But, I think I owe it to all those people over the years that have helped and supported me, but ultimately I owe it to myself, because I believe, again, controversial comment, is the number one person in my life isn't my kids, isn't my wife, is me. I'm the number one priority. If I don't look after me,
then
I can't look after anyone else. which is the best husband, wife, husband, son, father, friend. Do you know what I mean? So
100%.
yeah, and I'd say that the long term is just, it's just to do that. Be content in what I've got. I've gone past that needing to have the flashy car and that kind of. And I used to be. And again, this preaching to converted. It was all about image. What I had, the money and all this sort of stuff.
I think there comes a point in every bloke's life where that happens, where they're just like, you know what, I couldn't give a fuck about flashy, like, tangible objects. It's more about the relationships that you have and the type of person you want to be. And I think it comes with, I think you have to sort of experience some sort of shit to come to that realisation sooner.
I totally agree with you. And yeah, this is, I always thought I wanted, what I thought I wanted isn't in fact what I wanted. I'm literally sat here now and I've got a pair of someone's sliders that they gave me because they didn't like them.
Oh, is this the Who You Wearing segment?
Oh, no, but do you know what it is? So I'm sat here wearing this and socks that my wife chose for me to buy that are actually really comfortable and warm. A pair of jogging bottoms that a guy got from Andy's Man Club went, actually, they don't fit me, do you want them? And a fleece that is like the everyday wear it all occasion fleece. And I probably look like an absolute riot, but I don't care because I'm content. Do you know what I mean? I'm content in that. I couldn't even tell you a latest fashion brand. I don't know.
TBC merch. Sorry, just had a bit of a tickle there, Luke.
Coming to stores near you. It's not about that. It's not about the. It really isn't. I couldn't really care because that is that inner wealth. It's that
inner wealth.
I come home.
It's so true, mate. So true. Honestly, this sounds cliche, mate, but I feel like proper inspired from listening to your story and like
same.
Just the way you look at life. Because my partner will 100% back on this and say I can look at stuff so negatively and like get caught up on small little tiny things that don't matter. And she made a comment once about something she seen online, and it was like that when you lay on your deathbed and you're gonna die or whatever, like that your last words would never be like that washing never got done, or do you know, something fucking small and petty. And it's so true. But the whole glass full shit, mate, like I've heard it before, but hearing obviously you talk about it from your own perspective and your own life, it's so powerful, mate. And just you really do.
Don't get me wrong, it's not even. I've got one of my many things is OCD, and I hoover I hoover my house every day, and on a Friday I do the big hoover.
Should I leave you two alone?
I'm the same, mate. I'm a fucking OCD as well.
Yeah, and I was, and I'll be the one that cleans the bathroom or whatever. But it's if I get home and my wife's been in all day or whatever, but the dishwasher isn't emptied, instead of going off of I'll just is it clean or dirty? Clean. All right, cool. And I'll put it away. But you've also what I want to make clear is that this isn't. I'm not a saint. I'm far from it. I'm not some southern tree hugging, vegan loving, world is perfect person. I still get frustrated. I still get annoyed. I still get wound up. It's how you react to that.
Yeah.
It's that what you do with it. Coming back from work today, I was stuck behind this car doing 30. The whole goddamn way in this 60. And I was like, right, okay, now I've got two options. I can get frustrated, I can set up their ass, I can flash them, I can beep at them, I can overtake an inappropriate place, or I go, right, okay, fair enough. It's now going to take me slightly longer to get home, but, okay, what's the positive in that? Turns out my car then started regenning, and then it also meant then by the time I got home, my car had finished its regen, so I didn't have to sit and wait at home, sat on my drive for 5-10 minutes extra waiting for my car to finish regen, and with my wife looked out the window.
Is that an electrical car terminology regen thing?
No, it's a diesel car terminology.
Shit, I've got diesel and my car doesn't regenerate.
You drive your car like once a year.
It does.
Does that mean you get a new car every day, Luke? Does it regenerate?
No, it's a DPF, it's a diesel particulate filter. It's called a regeneration cycle. It basically burns hotter to burn the crap out of your DPF. So it keeps your emissions.
I was going to say that this is why your car's probably in the garage every
So
week.
I can't really all get till Christmas. Yeah, cars, Formula One, and God, that's probably how sad my life is. That it really is anything mechanical. Yeah, wow. I go to my shed. I open my shed and just sit in there and I look at my tools and my.
Do all your wet dreams begin in your shed, Luke?
Yeah, look how lined up my screwdrivers are. You know, the wife shop.
Is that a euphemism for dildos?
No, it literally is me staring at the screwdrivers and she'll shout out, "What are you doing?" I just pull the handle on one of the drills or something, go, "I'm busy," you know, and then sort of like let it go. But no,
This is getting overtly sexual.
Yeah, I've got the keys in my pocket actually. I should have done that from here to there. I should have sat in my shed and done this and just been in my element. But
Bloody hell.
you know, I can't remember what the question was and how the hell we got into that. But
That's the beauty of it, mate.
The beauty of it.
Yeah, that is the beauty of it. I think the question was, what was your long-term goals? But
Well,
I think
he explained it, and then his car started regenerating. You know,
No,
it
you
is.
did, you did.
All them diesel, you know, the DPS stuff. Yeah, I know all that now.
It's that. Just, you know, I'm not a saint, and you know, I still get annoyed. I still enjoy a glass of wine, and I still get frustrated and that. But it's your reaction to that is not being that prick of an argument that when the wife says something, and I think, don't say the last thing to say it. Don't say it. Go swallow it. Say nothing.
yeah,
Walk away. You know, it's learning that. It's lessons learned. You know, it's lessons learned over the years. And you know, like my dad would say to me when I was younger, if you're going to learn, mate, you're going to learn the hard way. And I'm like, yeah. And it's only now when you get older and go, do you know what? Yeah, you were right. Yeah, I did learn the hard way. You know, and it's life. But I wouldn't. Someone said to me recently, you know, would I change anything to you know, anything that happened to me or gone through to now? And I thought, would I? No, because again, that's all past. You can't change the past. You accept it, deal with it, you move on. It happens. And at that point, you've got two choices. You can either accept it or you can live in it.
yeah.
And if you live in it, you're never going to move forward.
It turns you into the person you are. Your life experiences turn you into the person that you are. So if you change them, you wouldn't be the person that you are today. Probably for the worst, to be fair.
Yeah, well, we've got like one of our final questions here, which follows on nicely from what we've just been talking about.
Yeah.
So, Luke, if you could give yourself some advice when you was like 10 years old, what advice would you give yourself? Like now, obviously being the wise, half full drink kind of guy you are.
Yeah, don't get married.
I second that shit.
All right, someone's had a bit.
Oh shit!
That's the worst thing I have. I literally am sipping water. No, the advice I would give myself is, you know, probably a lot of the cliche, you know, the light follows the darkness, you know, is, you know, I would say, it's probably something that someone told me a few years ago is, if you believe in God, you must believe in the devil.
Yeah.
And
so true.
That stuck with me for years. I wasn't 10, but I wasn't that old. And I, for years, thought that was a religious quote until I realised that basically what it means is if you believe in one side of something, you have to believe in the other. So the simplicity.
You can't have it one way.
If I flip a coin and you say heads, there has to be a part of you that believes it can land on tails. You have to accept that it can land on tails. And it's that, you know, this is the situation, this is it. But it's like anything, if you believe in life, you believe in death. If you believe in love, you believe in heartbreak. If you believe in the night time, you have to believe in the day. You know, it's accepting that there is two sides to everything, and it's not always going to be that way.
That's really good advice for a 10-year-old.
It's taking charge of you. You know, I suppose going back a lot of the time, there was a time self-pity. There was a lot of, you know, woe is me. But ultimately, I suppose I would say, look, you know, it starts with you. Take charge of you.
Nice.
You know, if it's going to happen regardless, of just keep that positive head up, glass half full.
Yeah, embed that in from the off, glass half full, glass. I'll just keep like repeating it to yourself until it ultimately sinks in.
It's so good, mate. Like, I'm genuinely inspired, mate, after listening to you. And I think I'm definitely going to go to an Andy's Man Club session as well.
We should go together, man. We could do it together.
The one thing, I know we Club is, and I'll say to people is, what harm can it do? What harm can going along one time do? Nothing.
Probably none. Probably has zero negative.
You go along. If it's not your thing, you can say I tried it. You get a free cup of tea, a free biscuit. You maybe go and go, actually, yeah, it's not the format, it's not for me. But unless you go along and try, you're always going to go, I wonder what it is. So yeah, it is grown men sat in a room, passing a ball around, getting things off their chest. And most of the people I speak to about Andy's Man Club are women who know somebody, husband, partner, boyfriend, son, father, uncle, whatever it is, that go, I know someone that needs to go. And it's like anything, it's the women that you speak to most, because
they're the people who are sort of benefiting from it as a secondary.
Funnily enough, like half of our listeners are female as well.
Yeah, we have got a lot of female listeners, and I don't know about you, but I'm fucking buzzing about that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Is that an ego boost for you? Is it?
No, it's just that like what we're saying, like they're going to be able to hear this is what, like, I think we're a good sort of representation of what actually blokes do think and what they do feel and how they do want to go about their lives and shit like that. So I think that they'll get a good insight of it. You know what I mean?
Or they'll just do what most women do and be like, fucking men just fucking moaning.
Men just moaning, chatting shit.
For you guys, I would actually say in and as you guys can back me up. You offered me the chance to get a preview of the questions for tonight, and I turned it down.
That's true.
They said, let's just go off the cuff. And if anyone doesn't believe me because of GDPR and the opening laws of what can be and can't be disclosed, there is evidence to prove that. So back in your box. For you guys, what I like about it as well is it's just two guys talking about things that guys talk about in general. We are immature characters. Women are a lot more mature than we are.
Oh, hell yeah.
In relation. So, in that work atmosphere, in that pub atmosphere, with your mates atmosphere, and it's the daft things, but ultimately it's opening up those avenues and talking about things and realising that other guys can go, do you know what, I thought that was just me that got X, Y, and Z, or thought this, and has gone through this. So it opens up those channels that doesn't necessarily, it's not necessarily your podcast isn't just about men's mental health. It's not just about obesity or just about fitness or football or anything. It's just talking about whatever happens to come to mind. And I think I know it resonates because I'm a guy. And off the back of that, like say, even if you guys now go, do you know what? I'm going to try that Andy's Man Club because a lot of people are saying about it. What's the worst that can happen? I can go along. And if you go along and think, do you know what? Yeah, you haven't got to tell anybody you're going. You can just go along, and if you're anything like me, before you know it, you're posting about it and you care about it. But for you guys, you're open, honest guys, which again, I mean this in the way that it comes across is I respect that, and I think that's something that's lacking a lot with a lot of these podcasts that are out there. Is there's not all that genuinity. Is that a word? I'm making up.
Is it authenticity? Is that what?
I prefer genuinity.
Genuinity. We're going to make that in the TBC dictionary.
I was staring at a satellite. I was looking at a satellite as I said that, and I got thrown off. In case anyone's wondering
about the mechanics of the satellite.
What screwdriver? We can fucking put it together.
Just to really bore people, the GPS satellites that you see, you can see them at night time on the clear sky. They look like stars that aren't blinking and moving steadily across the night sky, 10,898 miles away from where we are now, and there's 32 of them, but only 31 of them work. And yeah. See how exciting my life is?
Wow, that's a good space about that. I like that a lot.
Speaking of space,
I used to work with Trident nuclear weapon system, and GPS satellites were part of what we dealt with.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been interesting. But no further questions on that then, Your Honour. Yeah.
Moving on.
So we've got one final question for you, Luke, and I think you'll know what's coming here, mate. So Are you drinking, Luke?
I am drinking some hydrogen.
Nice.
And
Is that on draft or bottle?
It's a mix-up of more oxygen than there is hydrogen, but it's in draft form. I've got it on tap.
Yeah, that was mint. Oh, that was class.
I was going to have a glass of red, and she was like, "You can't do that on a glass of red." So it's literally sat on my draining board, ready to get poured.
Oh, nice.
Which is probably too late now. She go, "You're having that this time of night. I'm going to bed." Oh, you crack on.
You crack on, love. I'm going to pop this open.
I'll go and watch some satellites.
So, just so he doesn't get left out. Are you drinking, Jay?
Nice. I was going to say, it felt weird not saying Jay and saying Luke. Yeah, so today we've got Beavertown. Again, I think we've had a Beavertown before. Are you into IPAs or out, Luke, or are you not a fucking hipster cunt like us?
I do. I just don't do cans because I'm not a pikey.
Oh, sound. We are.
That means you're cheap, by the way.
I don't do canned alcohol. I prefer bottles at least. But yeah, IPAs. I do like a nice IPA.
Yeah, no. Well, we've got a Beavertown Gamma Ray. Have you ever had a Gamma Ray before? It's an American pale ale.
I know what Gamma Ray is, but usually in a different form. No, I haven't heard of Gamma Ray. If it's available, I will Google it. And I'm actually just making my way through
It is, mate. The can's sick as well. It's got a space person.
Jeremy Clarkson's pale ales at the moment. I've got some of his.
Jeremy Clarkson's got IPAs?
Well, he has his own farm, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Shit. Go check that shit out.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think
has he made them on the farm, like brewed them or anything, or do you not know?
Last time I spoke to him, I was like, yeah. MLM had rang me and I said, "Sorry, Jeremy, I've got to go." No, I don't know if he does them on the farm, but all I know is the place I bought them from pulled my pants down when they told me they were £7 a bottle and they were 330 bottles.
Bloody hell, I should wear a mask and a strap jumper.
This is why you should drink cans, mate.
Yeah, be a piker, it's cool.
No, to be honest with you, I just think it always takes a little bit of vitality, but I like a glass bottle. To be honest with you, I just bought a new whiskey, which I'm quite enjoying that as well.
Nice.
So, my
Little nightcap.
14-year-old single malt.
Nice, never really been a whiskey drinker because you have to have it with Coke, and anyone who drinks whiskey will be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
And you've got some dark past memories with whiskey. So
No.
We'll skip over
I
that.
bet you, the amount of people on earth who don't like whiskey, 9 out of 10 times because you're drinking it wrong.
Maybe.
Through their ear.
I always thought it's a good for your asshole.
Do you drink it then? Do you just have it? Do you just have it on the rocks? Yeah.
Depending on which whiskey it is and which glass I got it in.
Absolute connoisseur.
Yeah, that's what my wife's like. If I open a bottle of red, I'll like let it breathe before you pour it. She's like, "It's a £10 bottle of red. It's not a." I'm like, "Just let it breathe.
Just do it right, love. Do it right."
How long do you let it breathe for?
She opens up a bottle of what's it called, Zinfandel, whatever it is, and cracks it and pours it and goes, "It just tastes crap, this bottle." I'm like, "Just let it breathe." Obviously, what comes out is really dark. Really, I can't think why. Must be a dodgy bottle, that one.
Mega. Well, that brings us to the end, mate. It's been
thanks so much for your time, Luke, and you've been inspiring. We can't wait to get this out and spread the love, spread the word, spread that positiveness.
We'll have to get down to Glasgow anyway. Can we meet you in person?
Get up to Glasgow.
No, get up. Did I say get down?
Yeah. I was going to correct you, but you did it, so that's fine.
Yeah, sound. I should have known that. I always got pulled on it when I used to say go up to London. Everyone was like, "No, go down to London." But yeah, no, mate, it would be mega to meet up at some point. It would get on the fucking.
We could do a video one of these, don't we? We could do like a video one, and people could see, how glamorous my life really isn't, and how cool my flip flops are.
That's true. Yeah.
And your oversized joggers.
That's the problem. Is the guy that gave it to me is about a good foot shorter than me, so they're actually too small, but they're free, so stop it.
Yeah, innit?
Nothing better than sweatpants season. My eyes are up here.
That was a late one, that, wasn't it?
Bit of a lag in the old WhatsApp there.
But no, thanks so much for your time, Luke, and yeah, really appreciate it, mate.
No, I appreciate it, boys. I do. Keep up the good work.
All the best, Luke. Take care of yourself.
Cheers, mate.
Bye. Bye.
Cheers. See you in a bit.
TBC out.
Peace.